We've an interest in you and your business, and we're running these business lunchtime talks. And let's see how together we can put the Bible back into business. My name is Trevor Boyd, and I'm the minister here in First Rathfriland Presbyterian Church. And you can find out more about us by visiting our YouTube channel. Click the subscribe button below to stay in touch and to get our weekly updates. Today, we're thinking about Christians working in a pagan world, and to set the scene, we're turning to the life of Joseph, and we're going to read from Genesis chapter 41, verses 37 to 43. So the advice was good in all the eyes of Pharaoh, and in the eyes of all his servants. And Pharaoh said to his servants, "Can we find such a one as this, a man whom is in the Spirit of God?" Then Pharaoh said to Joseph, "Inasmuch as God has shown you all this, there is no one as discerning and wise as you. You shall be over my house, and all my people shall be ruled according to your word. Only in regard to the throne will I be greater than you." And Pharaoh said to Joseph, "See, I have set you over all the land of Egypt." Today, we're thinking about this whole idea of the Christian employee or employer in a pagan world. There are many Christian people who lack Christian company at work, and each week they're in a place where others have little or no time for faith in God, but rather they delight in the sensual and material pleasures of this world. How can a person with Christian beliefs thrive, develop and advance in a non-Christian environment, you might ask? You might say, is it possible? Well, if we turn to the example of Joseph, we realize through reading his life story that he followed God, and in the plan of God, he rose to senior positions. Firstly, in the home of Potiphar, secondly, in jail, and thirdly, in the palace of Pharaoh. As we read Joseph's story, we find that God had placed him in places and situations for a purpose, even if that purpose was not immediately clear. Ultimately, Joseph rose to be the king of Egypt's right-hand man. Now, I'm not saying that because we are Christian, God will make us rich, but I am saying that our faith will not be a hindrance to climbing the corporate ladder if that is God's will for you. Indeed, if you look at history, companies like Cadbury's in the confectionary world and Levers in the area of soap and cleaning are still even today very respected names built on the Christian tradition of the Quakers. There's an English lady, Dorothy Sayers. She's an author, or she was an author and Christian writer, and she often said that all work done well and for God's glory is Christian work. This means that we are to model Christ in the workplace, and we do that best when we perform our work so well and with such a good attitude that we inspire others to desire to know and to learn more about God and ultimately to worship Him. Or the Apostle Paul, writing in his letter to the church of Colossae, said, "Whatever you do, do your work heartily, as for the Lord rather than for men, knowing that from the Lord you will receive the reward of your inheritance." It is the Lord God whom you serve. And it's good for us to have that perspective every Monday morning and every Friday afternoon, that as Christians, yes, we're working for a boss, but ultimately we are serving God. And so Christians in the workplace, they should be motivated by the desire to glorify God and to inspire others to desire to know Him. Work well done, sadly, is still quite uncommon, or it's not as common as what it should be. And yet work, when it is well done, will be noticed. It'll be noticed by your colleagues, by your bosses, by your clients, by your patients, or by your customers, depending in what context it is that you're working. God is honoured when the products that we create and the services we provide are excellent, that are based on the simple values of care, competence and consistency. We as Christians are to care about the welfare of those that we work for and those who are customers to us. We are to pursue a high level of competency to enable us to deliver high quality goods and services. And that should be done in a consistent manner. It should be done in a manner that is done to pursue excellence. And so the quality of a Christian's work, their attitude, should be different from the quality of work and attitude of those who don't know Jesus. Remember, the Christian is working for Jesus, and therefore their work should be the best that they can possibly achieve. Customers, clients should be able to clearly see the quality and work of those goods and those services. In the book entitled Your Work Matters to God, written by Sherman and Hendricks, they write, "The key to bringing the culture and the church back together, to renewing the workplace and reforming the church, indeed, as I would say, to put the Bible back into business, it may well come as a result of a movement of people who are known for their hard work, who are known for the excellence of their effort, who are known for their honesty and their integrity, for their concern for the rights and the welfare of employees and those with whom they work with." Christians should indeed demonstrate a likeness of Christ on and off the job. And clearly this man Joseph that we're reading about, he was one of those people, and he was clearly and truly successful. Whether he was in Potiphar's house, whether he was in the prison, whether he was in the palace, God's hand was upon him. And true success in this life is to have God's blessing on our life. If you have God's blessing, then you have everything. And sadly, if you lack God's blessing, you ultimately have nothing, even if you are rich and famous now. So, Christian, I ask you today, how is your attitude at work? Are you working for the Lord? Are you working for the Lord and the boss? Or are you just plodding into work for the boss? Joseph didn't seek his own advancement, but rather he sought to prosper his master, whether it was Potiphar, whether it was the jailer, whether it was Pharaoh, the king of Egypt. These men were able to see how Joseph applied himself to the job that he was given, and they in turn were willing to trust him, were willing to depend upon him and to advance him. And there lies a key principle. If you seek to make the one over you prosper, God will see to it that you're advanced in due course. Now that's almost directly opposite to the way of the pagan world, where people so easily get trampled underfoot as people race to the top. We're called to live with integrity as Christians in this pagan world, just like many others before you, just like Joseph. And the Lord God will bless you in all that you do, because He is with you. And together, let's put the Bible back into business. Thanks for spending time with us today, and we'll see you the same place and the same time next week. Bye for now.